Hey guys, what is going on, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm heading back down to the track with the new rear, new drag radials, and we're gonna see what the car's gonna do. I'm hoping for 10's, but we're only a few minutes away, so I'll get back to you once we're at the track. All right guys, so I'm back at the track. I'm getting ready to do my first run here. I got the tires down to 20 PSI. I'm gonna do a little burnout. Same thing as last time. I'm just gonna kind of ease into it first run, you know, kind of granny shift it, see what it's gonna do. How the tires are going to stick before I do anything crazy with it. So the first run is done, and I'm at a rental today, so they're not giving you the slips right when you get off the track. But that was the fastest run yet, fastest mile per hour yet, first run of the day. So we're going again now. I'm going to try to launch a little higher. I had a 1.860 foot on that run. So same thing, I'm leaving the tires at 20 PSI. Oh man, it is sticky. Okay, let's try to launch this a little bit harder now. Try to get out of the hole a bit quicker. Vent is on, pump is on. So I let the clutch cool for another hour. Now that I know it's holding on, I'm not going to hold back on the launch. Tires are still at 20 PSI. I didn't take any more air out of them. All right, so it's the next day. I got all the time slips laid out here. All in all, I made 6 runs yesterday. The first one was the best one, and then after that, the clutch just started slipping, and from there, it kind of went downhill. I was able to bring it back a little bit and make 2 better runs, but I mean, nothing really beat that first run of the night. All right, so here are all the slips. Now, I made 6 runs. The second run where the clutch was acting up, I didn't get a slip for that one. And as far as the video goes, for some reason, I didn't get, I think I'm missing 1 or 2 videos towards the end of the 2 better runs. But first run of the day, I know is what you guys are most interested in, and that gave me a 10.8 at 133. Now, I can't believe how much the mile per hour came up, because as you guys remember from my previous video, where I was having to shift into 5th gear, that made a huge difference, because I went from 126 to 133 just by topping out 4th and not having to make that shift. 60 foot was pretty good. I was able to pull a 1.8 60 foot for my first time with the drag radials in the S60, and I gotta say the gearing is absolutely perfect. Like, I'm crossing the line right at the top of 4th gear, but as I make more modifications to the car, I am probably gonna have to go to like a 28 because I'm pretty much right at the top of 4th. There's really no room to lift the rev limiter anymore. I mean, I think it's set at like 6,500 right now. And on a stock bottom in 5.3, I really don't want to have to push it past that. But yeah, 10.8, 133, 1.8 60 foot. Second run after that, I don't have the slip for. That's when the clutch just started acting up. Basically, I waited about 20 minutes and then I went back on. Did a pretty decent burnout, and then right when I took off, I noticed it felt like the car was spinning. And then as I got further down the track, I realized it wasn't spinning and it was just the clutch. Back into the pits, clutch absolutely stunk. I let it sit there for maybe an hour, drove it around the lot, kind of bogged it down to 5th. It felt good, so I went back on. And then after that, I was able to do, just with that test run, trying to see how the clutch was feeling, I did an 11.8 at 132. 60 foot was terrible. It was a 2.3. And then once I knew the clutch was good, I went back on again. The run after that, I did an 11.8 at 131. But the problem with that one was the box had way too much water in it, and my tires didn't get dried off enough, because I did that kind of small burnout, trying not to like stretch the clutch too much. So as you saw in the video, when I took off, it was just spinning like crazy off the line. And that gave me the 11.8 at 131 with the 2.2 60 foot. After that, I just went right back on. I didn't even let the clutch cool anymore. And it felt fine. I mean, I did an 11.1 at 132, and then after that, I did another 11.1 at 132. 60 foot was pretty good, 1.9s on both of them. But I gotta say, for my first run out, pulling off the 10.8, that's pretty much what I went there to do. I wanted to hit 10s with it, and I did it first run. I can't believe the mile per hour. I mean, it's 133. No doubt, once I get the clutch fixed and you know, get it to stick a little bit better, I should be able to get this thing into the mid-10s without a problem. And from there, I'm probably gonna go and do other stuff to try to give it a little more power, like add the ice tank and do some stuff like that. Maybe look into some weight reduction. But I am very, very happy with the way the car performed yesterday. I wasn't expecting that right out of the gate, so I definitely went home happy. After I made those last 2 11.1 runs, that was it. We were waiting to go on again. The weather actually cooled down a lot, and I felt like I was going to be able to get another 10 run in. I had the tires down to like 17 psi. The weather dropped a lot, and I felt like I could really get it to hook and get a good time. But then somebody sprayed down the track, and that was the end of it. They called it. It was like the 3rd or 4th time it happened. I mean, I think like 2 or 3 Hondas completely oiled down the track, and then a Mustang blew a transmission. So it was really on and off, just waiting for them to clean the track all day, like in between runs. It was good for the clutch though, because it gave it time to cool down, and I was able to get those 11.1s out of it. But I mean, the inside of the car, it still stinks like clutch in here. Now, it is a McLeod twin disc. I'm pretty sure it's an RXT that I went with. I installed it a little bit after I did the swap. It's probably like 3 years old. It can't have any more than 10,000 miles on it. But I really did not drag this car that much. It's mostly on the street. I mean, that could have hurt it too, being it's not really meant for a daily driver. But up until now, I didn't have a problem. I mean, when I was on the street tires, yeah, it was slipping a lot. I think just because now that it's hooking really good, the clutch just can't hold on anymore. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking now if I want to go with the same one or go to like a Texas Speed Monster clutch or something like that. I want something that's going to be streetable though. I was very happy with the McLeod one on the street, but I can't believe it just like completely went downhill at the track. This is only my 2nd time at the track with the blower, and the first time that the blower actually had like good tires on it, and the thing just fell on his face. But we'll see what's going to happen. I'm not going to do the clutch now. I mean, the car drives fine. I could bog it down. It doesn't slip. It seems like once you do a couple of passes at the track, it just completely loses it. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm hot lapping it, but I mean, I gave it some time to cool. I wasn't beating on it too hard. Maybe I slipped it a little too much after that first run. I'm just going to drive it around through the rest of the fall, into the winter, see how it does, and I'll go from there. If it's all right, maybe I'll try another run at the track with it in the spring. But it's definitely on my list though to upgrade that and get a better clutch in there. The other thing I got to do is a drive shaft loop. I still didn't have time to do that. I actually started that video before I went to the track, and that was going to be the next video, so you wouldn't have been seeing this until probably next week. But once I got under there, I realized it's going to be way more work than I thought. Like, you do have to pull the torque arm down, and it's really tight in there between the transmission and the tunnel. I didn't want to pull it apart, and I have to drive this car to work, so I didn't want to have it apart, and then I couldn't get the torque arm, hooked back in by myself. So you guys got a race video instead. But yeah, I am going to be doing the loop still. I'm probably going to work on it this weekend. I'll get that installed, and then from there I'll see what I'm going to do. I want to do something with the exhaust. I really need a torque arm. That's the thing. I still have the stock steel stamped torque arm. For now, the season's pretty much over. It's not going to matter. I definitely want to go to an adjustable one. It's either going to have to mount on the transmission cross member, or I'm going to have to get like a tunnel mount with the short arm that mounts all the way in the back. I don't know how that's going to affect streetability. I hear that they introduce a lot of noise into the cabin. The main reason for me going with like a shorter one is because the exhaust. Because with my Hawks cross member for the Y pipe, it doesn't have a spot to actually mount the torque arm to it. And if I was going to go get like a BMR mount or a UMI, transmission cross member that allows for the torque arm mounting, my Y pipe isn't going to fit. There's just absolutely no room under there. So I'm going to have to either redo the exhaust. I mean, I'm looking into like a Hooker Blackheart. It's kind of expensive. It's a true dual. It has 2.5-inch pipes. So it's going to allow for more ground clearance. It's tucked a little bit better. And if I do that, I can actually, their cross member comes with the spot to mount the torque arm. If I didn't go that route, I would have to redo my back half of the exhaust because it's hanging too low, because the way the tunnel mounted arm mounts across the frame, the exhaust is in the way. It's not going to fit. So I'm either going to have to redo the cat back and get the shorter torque arm that mounts to the frame, or just replace the whole exhaust system and go with the Hooker Blackheart, and then I'll be able to run, a full, either like Founders Performance or a UMI adjustable torque arm, and it'll just mount right to the trans cross member. That is definitely the more expensive route of the two. And of course, as always, if you don't follow me on Instagram, link is going to be in the description below. I posted a couple of pics when I was at the track. I got a few more that are going to be coming out. I posted the time slip right before this video came out, so if you want notifications of when the next video is going to come out, definitely go follow me on there. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. So as always, if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.